Okay, hello. I think I'm going to keep this fairly brief, but I just wanted to do a quick roundup of Treason of Isengard, which was a GBHL 80 400 point tournament I hosted at Battlefield Hobbies using the Throne of Skulls format. So each game awarded either 3, 1 or 0 VPs for a win, draw, loss. And then every player at the end of the tournament had 2 votes for their sort of favourite opponent, most sporting type thing, and then 2 votes for favourite opponent's army, sort of mostly geared towards the paint job and stuff, but also taking into account the theme. And each of those votes was worth 1.5 VPs, TPs, tournament points, and that meant that up to 12 tournament points were up for grabs in via game results, an extra 12 available if you got all 8 votes. So I think I'm going to very quickly just whiz through my games, and so you can just sort of quickly see how I got on. Basically, I ended up with an odd number of players, so I had to act as a ringer. So I brought Thorin's company, and I brought Thorin with Dwalin, Gloin, Dori and Nori. Idea being, obviously, that I could get quick games in, but also have an army that's not sort of just going to roll over. Because I don't like the idea of, like, if you play the ringer, then you basically sort of have a free game. I think if you play the ringer just sort of brings something that's half decent that stands a good chance, and they just sort of are entered as a normal player and then drop from the tournament at the end. So yes, that's what I did. Obviously, the idea is that I've basically taken the 3 sort of Chad hobbits. So I got Thorin, who's obviously 3s everywhere, might, will, fate, attacks, wounds, d7, strength 6, all that good stuff. Yeah, Dwalin and Gloin, obviously both beasts. Gloin's especially is just absolutely grim. Dory, I like him because he's sort of a bit cheaper, but he can get 3 attacks next to Nori, and I think just rolling more dice in this is the way to go, and you don't want to sort of have too many of the squishy dwarves, because then I'll just sort of break very easily. And then Nori was there just to give the Dory 3 attacks, but he also has strike, so that's the logic. So game 1 was Treasure Hoard against Balrog and Depth of Moria, so Balrog and 10 goblins. I think it was 10. Yes, that's how maths works. Yes, 10, so 5 points each. Basically, I just sort of made a beeline for Balrog, who sort of came down the middle. I picked up a treasure, an objective on my way to the Balrog, who also picked one up. The goblins sort of started going round the side away from my dudes, and then sort of eventually sort of came back in the middle to peel. But basically, Nori got whipped in, and I didn't say actually I was playing Sean, so we played at the club a fair amount as well. So it's good opening. Yes, good opening opponent, definitely. So he whipped Nori in, but then just sort of kept fluffing, and then eventually I got all the boys in. And I had 2 turns of basically surrounding him, and I think I double heroic strength with Gloin and Dwalin. I got the Balrog down to 2 wounds, so it's tantalising, which meant the goblins broke normally, and I think later Sean sort of mentioned there's probably an error, but he sent 6 goblins into the middle, which I killed, which then mean he did break. And he sent a few other boys sort of around the side and stuff to pick up treasure, which they struggled to do because of their low intelligence. But basically, yes, long story short, the Balrog eventually woke up, Sean started rolling 6s, and all of my heroes got squished one by one. I think by the end of it, I had sort of 1 left. And yeah, I think I was able to grab one piece of treasure last turn, but basically the Balrog sort of killed Thorin, took my treasure off me, and then yeah, he was able to sort of end up with 4 on the Balrog. Obviously goblins, I think, giving him a couple as well. And his goblins did run away, but not the critical ones. So my plan was pretty much obviously just to kill the Balrog, so everything else runs away, and win on sort of, leader kill broken and whatever treasure I could get, and hoping the gobbos dropped all theirs. But it didn't work out because the Balrog did actually wake up eventually. Game 2, I was very excited about this one because I was against Jack Buckler. Yes, I really like the theme of his army as well, which was the Expeditions of the East one. So that's the one where you've got Kyrian, Dra and Murin. So he had sort of, Minas Tirith, spear and shield, and then dwarfs with shield, and then sort of a mixture of human and dwarf rangers. The mission was lead from the front, so basically having your heroes near the objectives at the end. Jack sent his banner and Murin down to just one of the side objectives, basically just to keep those VPs safe and also obviously score one of the objectives. His shooting was very effective. He killed Dory before I got near him, and he pinged. I think he pinged a fate off of Dwalin and maybe caused a wound on one other. But yeah, my strategy was just to make a beeline for him. I'm not sure if that was the smartest strategy, but also I sort of had the fact I'm the ringer in mind, so just get stuck in, get going. And yeah, my heroes just sort of, plodded along nicely. Nori eventually got surrounded and ganked, but that's sort of to be expected. But he did alright in the interim. But my dwarf heroes, my main ones, Thorin, Dwalin, and Gloin, sort of just picking stuff off. There was one turn where they went absolutely nuts, and I think they killed Murin, and I think each of them killed like 2 as well, because I did some combat shenanigans. That was just a turn, it was absolutely nuts, and they killed a bunch of guys, and then I managed to kill Kyrian, which I believe was, cause I think it's 25%, the game ends on this one, which yeah, obviously put me in the driving seat, but we had sort of a final turn where Jack wasn't quite quartered, and it basically came down to me winning the priority, getting to sort of run Thorin back onto the middle objective and scoring that, and then I think I pipped him with the breaking being unbroken, each controlling one objective with a hero, and I think that's not the leader though, because I think Thorin was untouched and Murin was untouched, so I think I absolutely squeaked that one. And again, I think it came down to a lucky priority roll at the end of the day. Yeah, and then it was into lunch, but I think I'll come back to that, so that's when we had all the painting competition stuff. So game 3 was Lords of Battle against Sons of Vale. Basically I just sort of deployed in the middle, he deployed 5.5 inches away from me. I had one priority turn 1, but rather than sort of carry on this sort of charade, I just gave it to him, let him charge me. And we played 3 turns total, I think, because turn 1 he sort of came in and killed Dwalin and Dory with his... Actually, I think it was just Sons of Eol that killed Dwalin, and then I think Eol himself killed Dory. My other heroes did reasonably well. There's some combat shenanigans as well. I won't get into it too much because it's probably not interesting specifically who called what combat, but it was interesting at the time. And I did manage to clear a bunch of Sons of Eol off, to be fair, because I am still quite killy, and having 3, 5, 6 heroes negates a lot of what the Sons of Eol do. But yeah, basically the second turn he went in and killed Gloin and Nori, and then last turn was just Thorin on his... Oh, actually he didn't kill Nori. Nori was yes, in trouble but alive, and yes, it was just a case of in the last turn I think he combated off with Nori into Thorin and struck with a hero, and I was out of might because I had to spend all of it to win fights and strike and stuff before, and he killed Thorin, so I ended up being tabled, and I think I lost that by 18 something, probably nil actually. That's okay. Final match I forgot to take any photos of, obviously. It was Breakthrough. I just deployed in the middle, and it was against... I've actually been rubbish at saying my opponent's names. So the second one was against Thomas Denny, obviously regular on the channel, and another sort of GBHL Bears team member, Thomas Smith, in the last game with his Far Harad. I basically just deployed in the middle, got stuck in, and sort of started chopping things up, and I killed one of the kings as well, which was nice. But basically Tom just kept his general safe and tagged all the objectives, and I sort of killed stuff, but I was so bogged down in the middle that even if I won priority or combat, I wasn't really going anywhere. So yeah, it was just sort of classic, just sort of throwing bodies at me to slow me down and then doing the objective, and it worked out perfectly. So I lost that one too. So I think I ended up pretty low as ringer, but that's okay, because that's, beating up on the ringer is sort of a tradition, I think, of tournaments. I won't say too much about the painting competition. I think I'll just put the pictures up on screen for you now. Obviously, the format emphasises the hobby a lot, and I think that really shows, because I think obviously as you'll see, sort of flicking through these, I think a lot of tournaments, any one of these would have like really stood out, and been been a contender for best painted overall. But yeah, there was just so many. I think every army was just really really well done. So yeah, it was a tough one, and well, not a tough one. It was a tough one to win. And the spread on the votes was absolutely nuts, because I think yeah, it must have been about half of the people got at least one vote, and the top was very very close. But in the end, it was the Sons of Ale, Thomas Denny getting best painted, with Tom Smith, and then a couple of others just a vote or two behind. So I think how I'm going to do this, I think I'm going to run through the feedback, but I don't want to flash it up on screen just because it's obviously anonymous, and whilst like all the stats and stuff are anonymous, I think some of the comments and stuff might sort of reveal who submitted them. So I'm just gonna have to trust me. I had 8 responses, and out of 23 people who attended, because I had a lot of attrition and sort of tickets moved on and stuff, so I sort of sold all the tickets, but then lots of people couldn't make it last second, or tickets were sold on a few weeks before, so it was a bit of a weird one, because I think normally I've had a couple of tickets sold on, and a couple of people can't make it on the day or something, but it was a bit nuts this time. But that's okay, because it was just kind of part of running these things, is you just have to deal with it, basically. Everyone was 5 out of 5 satisfied with the event, so very satisfied, which was good overall. Terrain, 5 people were very satisfied, and 3 were satisfied, and so I left some space to sort of have general comments. And I think I need to have another look at my terrain, because all of the terrain was mine apart from the desert table at the end, and I think 2 things are Weathertop, which I know about. I'm just stubborn, and because I built it and I've got a Weathertop table, I just keep bringing it, and everyone keeps moaning about it. I've actually today put Weathertop in the bin, because I thought about selling it, but I don't think anyone would really want it, and it's annoying to store and stuff. So I just let it go. Sorry about that, guys. I realised I was using the wrong mic to record, so the second half will be better sound quality, but I'm pretty tight on time, so I'm not going to go over the first half of the video again. But yes, I've thrown Weathertop out, so I think I'm going to print a new one, and then leave it in either, probably halves, mount it on bases that are like really tight to it, and then for tournaments I can sort of have 2 halves, so it's a lot sort of less of a pain in the butt to deal with, basically. And then if I want to ever do a narrative or whatever, I just put the 2 halves together, and then you got Weathertop. So yeah, going to try and figure out a way of doing that, I think. But yes, so everyone can stop complaining about Weathertop now. Which I don't blame people, by the way. It is annoying, but it just looks cool, and I spent a lot of time making it, so just wanted to get my use out of it. But yes, it's gone now. But the sort of more serious thing is I realise I don't have enough scatter terrain. It's because I'm so bad at using the resin printer. I think I'm going to buy a new one the next couple of months, and I think what I'll do is, some of the tables are okay, like the 5 armies table, the Amon Hen table, those, and the sort of Banks of the Anduin table, those don't need changing, but I think Minas Tirith, possibly the Osgiliath ones, and then a couple of others. Rohan, that needs sort of some fences and walls and crates and stuff. So I think I'm just going to sort of try and churn some of those out, and they don't take too long to paint, but I'm just going to have to wait till I sort out a new printer, because I just can't deal with my current one. It's a nightmare. But yeah, it shouldn't take too long to churn out anyway. So yeah, but yeah, the feedback was good, but I noticed that people made a few comments about scatter terrain and then Weathertop, so both of those are on my radar. Admin and logistics, everyone was sort of happy with the communication. TO admin, which is what I was worried about, because at the end I had to do like a solid sort of 10-15 minutes of spreadsheeting to make the format work. But nobody seemed to mind, and it seemed to go well, and I was able to do it fairly quickly, even though it meant copying the tournament score, VP difference and VPs against from Longshanks, putting it into my own spreadsheet, then looking up the results of a Google form and then copying that into the spreadsheet. So there's no one system to use, so I had to basically draw two different things together into sort of a third thing, which is my spreadsheet. So I don't think there's another way around of doing that. So that's, yeah, it's just one of those things. But I was able to do it okay. Yeah, and then sort of TO decisions. Okay, round time and limits time keeping all good. Yeah, comment. Oh yes, so use of Longshanks. I think that's the only thing that I got one bad score on. But obviously, I don't take that personally because Longshanks isn't mine. But yeah, using sort of going between Longshanks, which was quite challenging because of that sort of lack of 5G at the venue, and then having to then go on to Google Forms to vote for who you wanted to most sporting was a little confusing for some, but I don't see another way of doing it, but I shall look for the next one. How was the venue? Everyone happy overall. I think there was a couple of neutrals for stuff like parking or location or what have you, but overall everyone's positive. It's a good location, air conditioning's great as well, and the shop's good. And then prize support, people felt it was about right. One person said too much, so that's nice. But nobody thought it was too little, which is the main thing. Again, 7 out of 8 thought physical prizes would be better than vouchers for shops. I've done vouchers in the past, but I think physical prizes are a bit more interesting, as well as a trophy, obviously. Ticket price, again, about right or very good value. No sort of too expensives, which is good. And yeah, people enjoyed the Throne of Skulls format. Nobody disliked it. I've got a couple of people who are sort of ambivalent towards it, but 6 yeses. And again, with the doubles tournament I'm doing in October, 6 wanted Throne of Skulls and 1 said traditional. Someone pointing out that if it's Throne of Skulls, is good at an 80, but if it's an 90, then traditional scoring is better. Obviously, only doing 80s. Without getting into it, I much prefer the vibe at 80s. And the idea of I TO'd a 90, and like 90% of people are cool, but it's just a bit over the top for me. So that's all the feedback. So a couple of things for me to do in terms of looking at getting a new Weathertop board sorted out. I mean, all the hills and trees and stuff will remain the same. It's just sort of like just the Weathertop itself and maybe a few bits of scatter, but then obviously just scatter terrain generally for probably just about half the boards, I think, probably. And I'll consider the system again. I asked in terms of sort of admin. I asked I'm awful with names. Fella from Tabletop Admiral if he could accommodate it on the app, but it wasn't possible before. But I might ask again with more notice and see if that's possible. Because if it's all done via one app, then that's good. Because I also can't keep track of who votes for who. So I kind of have to rely on people actually voting for people who they played against. And obviously if there's a misclick or something, and then it's just trying to avoid that. If there was a system where it specifically limited you to people you played, then that'll be better. But nothing currently available out there at the moment. So I think that leads us nicely into final results. I don't think there's any more sort of housekeeping I need to do. I've got the table up here. This is the final table. So as predicted, the winner won 3 games and then just hoovered up the soft points. Obviously Adam, his Wolves of Isengard were incredible. yes, obviously he got all 4 votes for that, and obviously he's a solid bloke as well, so 2 out of 4 votes for there, so only dropping 2 out of 8 votes, which is pretty nice. Caleb would have won if we'd used the traditional scoring format. Obviously the only player to win 4 games, but you know, as predicted, the soft points coming into touch quite a lot here. Yeah, so I think it's obviously shown best probably with James Palmer only winning 2 games, but dropping 1 soft vote, catapulting him up to 5th. So again, that was pretty nice. Yeah, so you can sort of see how the soft points do affect things. I think the good thing was we had a very solid crowd of people. So actually, everyone got at least 1 sporting vote, apart from me. So I don't think it swung it a huge amount, other than right at the top where people were sort of getting 3-4 votes. I think everyone got I think on average people probably got 2 votes. There's a few people with 1 in each category or what have you, but I think most people getting a couple of votes. So I don't think it changed the overall rankings too much, other than sort of at the sharp end of things. So yeah, so anyway, I think it went well. A couple of notes for me to take away for next time, but other than that, I think roll on October and the doubles tournament.